Welcome to South Florida saltwater fishing. I'm Heath, and it's time to get into the bite.
Wahoo in the boat, baby! That kingfish right there. There we go. I mean, you talk about epic fishing days. Yeah! Nice bull dolphin right there. Double header! Woohoo! Look at that muzzle snapper!
Alright folks, we're heading out of Key Largo this morning. On the agenda today, we're going to show you how to troll multiple planers. We're not going to complicate things. We're going to show you how to get this done real easy, and we're going to do it from a small boat, my 17-foot Key West. Before we get into this though, if you want to learn more about fishing, grow as an angler, and just see some great and exciting offshore fishing adventures, you can start by hitting the subscribe button. And don't forget to turn on the notification bell so that you won't miss a thing. All right, folks, so we're currently sitting in right around 160 feet of water, headed out from Key Largo this morning. Like I said, we're gonna show you how to troll multiple planers from a small boat. It's not that complicated, but we got a few sort of systematic rules that we gotta follow. That way we don't tangle our lines up. The first thing is you gotta use different size planers. You can't use the same size planers. If you use the same size planers, you're looking for tangles. We're gonna have a bigger planer and a smaller planer. This is a number 6 planer. This is a number 3. The smaller of your two planers is gonna wanna be your shotgun line or your long line. You're gonna let that one out first. Your larger planer is gonna be your line that is in closer. You will let that one out second. Now, the trick is when you go to set your planers, you will set the bigger one first, and then you will set the further one out second. So we're gonna be fishing with wind-on leaders and quick release planers with a bridle system. It makes life easy when fishing with planers to get into using this system. That way you can actually fight the fish all the way to the boat. You don't have to hand line in 100 feet a leader once you're, you got your planer up. So our gear that we're gonna be using is this. This is a Penn International 30 spooled with 80-pound braid. And I got 100 feet of 60-pound monofilament. That's a wind-on leader that's attached between my bridle and my leader. It's on a 7-foot rod with all roller guides. And we're also gonna be using this. This is a Penn International 30 TW, a tournament wide. Same reel, just a little wider, more capacity. It is also spooled with 80-pound braid and the same 100-foot, 60-pound test monofilament leader with a bridle also. All right, so without further ado, I'm gonna fire up the boat, hook on our lures, put the drone spoon on the 30, which is one of my favorite setups. Put the Clark spoon on the 30 TW. So remember, we're letting out our smaller planer first. So we're gonna let out our little lure, dunk that in the water, get it going out. All right, so we're at our bridle for our smaller lure. I'm gonna let out a little bit more. All right. So, what you do, lean over, you grab your planer. The side that is on the arm will hook onto the top of your bridle. The side that's on the bottom, which is the eye of the planer, will hook to the bottom of your bridle. You're good to go? Drop that in the water, and you're gonna let it out about 20 to 30 seconds. So, once you've got the smaller of your two planer trolling lines set out, what you're gonna wanna do is you're gonna wanna get it kicked out to the side of the boat that it's on, So the way you do that is you turn into it. Turning that way, which is the side the rod is on, will effectively kick the line out to that side of your boat. That way you can let your second line out straight and it will not get hung up on it. So it's getting kicked out. Here we go. We're gonna let this line out. And again, we got a 100-foot wind on leader. Oh, we'll let out about 100 feet of main line. We don't want it to get hung up on that one. Once we do that, then we will set our planers. Around our bridle. Okay, so again, the arm of the planer goes up on top. Plate of the planer goes on bottom. And we're going to let that out about 100 feet or so. And then the key trick is to set the bigger of the two first so it gets diving down. And then you go with your smaller one. So we let out enough main line. Okay, so we're good to go with that. All right, so set your planer. Set your planer. All we gotta do is pull back on your line and let it go. That sets it. Good to go. That's your bigger of your two planers. Now we'll do the same thing with the smaller of them. And we're up and rocking and rolling. That's how you get two planers up and trolling. Pick up some speed. All right, so it's that simple to get up and trolling with two planer lines on a small boat. As you can see, we got one down around 60 feet, one down around 30 feet. We got the Penn International 30, spooled with 80-pound braid. That's got a number 3 drone spoon on it with a size 6 planer. That one is down around 60 feet. We've got the International 30 TW, and that's got the 3.5-inch Clark spoon on it, and that one's down around 30 feet. So we're up and trolling. We're gonna kind of comb back over the reef, see if we can find us a bite. All right, so I want to say something while we're up and trolling and kind of kicking our way back into the reef. If you get a hit on your longer line, you're going to want to clear your shorter line. You don't want to leave that one in the water because it will get tangled. Now, if you get hit on the shorter line, it's okay to leave your longer line out. That's another rule of how we properly get this done without tangling multiple planers. But we are definitely trolling down in the water column looking for those fish that are down there. All right, so there you have it, folks. Not too bad, not too complicated, and definitely doable from a small boat. In case you don't know, I have a 17-foot Key West. So what this tactic is going to do is it's going to help you cover the water column in more areas than if you were just trolling one planer or one diving plug. It'll help you get down to 2 different levels. So these were the 2 planers we were using. This is a number 6. This will help you get down to about 60 feet in the water column. This is a number 3. This one will get you down about 30 feet. So as you're going along, you'll figure out which one's going to get hit, and then you can sort of focus on that as your more targeted lure. So as you saw, this tactic is nothing too bad, too overly complicated. However, you have to follow the guidelines that I showed you in the example when we were out on the water. First, very important guidelines are is you got to use 2 different size planers. You got to use a larger one and a smaller one. And the first guideline is we're going to let out our smaller planer first. We will let this out further than we will let out the bigger planer. This one will be known as our shotgun line. Then you'll let out your bigger planer next. You're not going to set either of your planers until they're both let out. So in my example, I let this planer out about 200 feet of main line plus the additional 100 foot of wind on leader. And then I let this one out about 100 foot of main line plus the additional 100 foot wind-on leader. Then the next guideline is you will set your bigger planer first, and then you'll set the smaller planer second. And then you'll be able to get up and trolling and go and hunt down your fish. And also along the way, you saw we were using a wind-on leader with a bridle and a quick release planer. Just an extra little tip and goodie included in this demonstration. What this allows you to do is when you get hooked up with a fish, you're winding it up, you simply release the planer and you can fight the fish all the way up to the fish, to the boat, and gaff them instead of hand lining in your leader. And now the last key piece of advice to give you when you are trolling multiple planers. This is something you're going to want to make good practice in, is if you get a hit and it is on your longer planer, your smaller planer that's further out, you're going to want to clear, which means you're going to want to reel in the planer that is closer in, which is your bigger planer. You will trip it, you'll wind it in, and then you'll concentrate on getting the other fish in that is hooked up on your shotgun line. This is going to keep you from getting tangled up. Alright folks, that about does it for this episode. Hope you had fun. Hope you learned a little bit about how to troll multiple planers from a small boat. And the fact that it's not that bad. We're out to have fun doing some fishing. Alright, till next time, South Florida saltwater fishing. Going wherever the cool wind takes us.